Hello again and welcome. Today we're going to look at how to put together a sentence in French. This is part of the series French for Absolute Beginners. We are now moving on to the second level. The first level was French from scratch for beginners. In the earlier series, we look at the different structural parts of the French language, starting with punctuation, orthographical signs, name, adjectives, all the way until verbs. Last lesson in that series was verbs. You can refer to previous videos for a review of what we've covered. So now we're going to see how we can put together a simple sentence in French. Let's start. There is a simple formula that I like to use. Okay? Subject plus verb plus object, and I resume it in S plus V plus O. You can use it if it works for you, otherwise please find your own shortcut. Quickly in English, what is an object? I have opted to put the definition here in English since assumably your language of comfort is English. So an object, it is a person or thing to which a specified action or feeling is directed. Again, a person or thing to which a specified action or feeling is directed. Keep that in mind because it's going to be very handy down the road. There are two types of object in French. Deux types d'objets. Complément d'objet direct, en abrégé COD, and complément d'objet indirect, en abrégé COI. Un complément d'objet est direct lorsqu'il est joint directement au verbe sans l'aide d'une préposition, without the help of a preposition. In this example, il écrit un livre. The verb écrire is right here. And then we have the object, un livre. Is there a preposition between the verb and the object? The answer is no. Therefore, it is un complément d'objet direct. It goes directly from the verb to the object. On the other hand, un complément d'objet est indirect lorsqu'il est introduit à l'aide d'une préposition. Here, when there is a preposition between the verb and the object. Let's have a look. Il téléphone à sa mère. Here is your verb téléphoner, and here is your object, sa mère. Do you see a preposition? Yes, here is your preposition. Therefore, you need a preposition to go from the verb to the object. As a result, it is un complément d'objet indirect. I have looked at that in my manual, Grammaire Française, on page 134. It will give you a more detailed explanation. Now let's look at some examples. Okay, we're going to look at both complément d'objet direct and complément d'objet indirect. Let's start with complément d'objet direct first. Ils lisent un livre. Il, c'est le sujet. Lise, c'est le verbe. And un livre, c'est l'objet. Do you see a preposition here? No. Ils lisent quoi? Un livre. Therefore, it is un complément d'objet direct. Eric lave sa voiture. Once again, here is your verb and here is your object. Do you see a preposition? In other words, if I ask the question, Eric lave quoi? Sa voiture. There is no preposition that introduces the answer. Therefore, it is un complément d'objet direct. And the third example, Lise mange une pomme. Here is your verb, and here is your object. Lise mange quoi? Une pomme. Therefore, it is un complément d'objet direct. Let's move on to complément d'objet indirect. Elle doute de sa sincérité. Elle, c'est le sujet. Doute, c'est le verbe. Elle doute de quoi? de sa sincérité. Therefore, it is a complément d'objet indirect. Elle téléphone à sa mère. Elle téléphone à qui? À sa mère. Here is the introduction of the preposition, meaning you have to go through a preposition from the verb to the object. Therefore, it is a complément d'objet indirect. And last example, nous pensons à nos parents. Here is your preposition. Here is your verb, and here is your object here. Therefore, the object is introduced by a preposition. It is therefore a complément d'objet indirect. What do you notice? Most of the preposition that you're going to use for the complément d'objet indirect is either de ou a. Keep that in mind. We are going to look at the verbs that take the preposition a or de. Okay, now here is a list of what you're going to be seeing most of the time when it comes to the preposition a. In other words, when you're using the verb adhérer, you know it's going to take the preposition a. The same thing for appartenir will take a. So, verb plus a accent grave, here is a list. Adhérer à, appartenir à, convenir à, échapper à, nuire à, I've missed an A here, I'm sorry, participer à, penser à, plaire à, and here is the full list. And similarly, if we're going to be looking at the verbs using the preposition de, here you go, abuser de, s'apercevoir de, s'assurer de, etc. Here is your list, have a look at it. I do not expect you to know them by heart, but at least if you see a verb and you have some doubts, please use your dictionary. The dictionary will help you determine whether a preposition should follow the verb or not. Now, having seen how we put together a sentence in French, how about putting a negative sentence in French? Okay, here again, I use a simple formula. Ne plus verbe plus pas. Okay, ne pas denotes a negative sentence in French. In English, what do you notice? Do not, and then the verb. What I've done is I've kind of color-coded it to help you. Ne in blue plus the verb in red plus pas. So, ne pas is wrapped around the verb, as opposed to English where the do not goes before the verb. Let's look at some examples now. I work in Toronto, and I'm going to put that in negative. I do not work in Toronto. So here is your do not, and here is your work, which is your verb. So negative followed by the verb here. Je travaille à Toronto. Negative sentence in French would be Je ne travaille pas à Toronto. So what do you notice? The ne followed by the verb and then the pas. Okay, so it's wrapped around the verb in French. Je ne travaille pas à Toronto. I like winter. I do not like winter. Here is your negative, and here is your verb. The negative is placed before the verb in English. In French, j'aime l'hiver. Je n'aime pas l'hiver. It's ne, and then pas. In between you have your verb. Notice vowel and vowel. What do we do? If you go back to the lesson on elision, you will notice that we will have to eliminate the first vowel and we'll replace it by an apostrophe. So we have Je n'aime pas l'hiver. Here is your negative, Here is your negative, and here is your verb. J'aime l'hiver, je n'aime pas l'hiver. I like winter, I do not like winter. Just have a look at this for a few minutes. Just notice where it is placed, and it will assist you to understand the difference between putting a sentence in English in its negative form and putting a sentence in French in its negative form. Compare, contrast, and observe. For reference purposes, there is a section on negative sentences in French in the manual Grammaire Française. Here it is, and it's on page 178. The manual is available on Amazon.com. And folks, I believe this is the end of this video. Please like. Very important to subscribe so you do not miss any videos down the road. And comment, equally important, because it will tell me what you like, what you don't like, and also what topic you would like me to cover in future videos. Equally important, I would like to wish you a happy new year, une très bonne année, and I wish you nothing but the best for 2023. Thank you, and see you again. Au revoir.